Hello everyone, my name is Trenja. I want to talk about the new PRS SE NF3. For me, I think if I were to buy a PRS guitar at this point in my guitar journey, this NF3 is probably the one that I'm gonna get. On the other hand though, I also don't think that this is a super perfect guitar for what I want. That's what I want to discuss here. I'll talk about what I think you can and cannot expect from this guitar. In this video, I'm gonna focus on the 11th most important thing in a guitar, the sound. I'll give you a short explanation about the pickup. I'll talk about what I like and what I don't like about the sound and some possible fixes that might make me like the sound more. I'll say this disclaimer up front. I don't care if you're buying this guitar or not. I'm not trying to sell you any guitars. I'm analyzing this because I'm trying to sell myself the guitar. Yeah, because I quite like it, but I also found certain things that I don't like. If it's fixable, if I can tolerate it, I might actually like it enough to actually get one, right? The name NF3 came from the pickups. It's a PRS design pickup that they call Deep Dish Narrowfield Pickup. It's basically a humbucker designed to sound like a single coil pickup. Why not use actual single coil, you might ask? First, they already have Silver Sky that use actual single coil. Secondly, PRS developed their own pickups, and one of the things that they try to achieve is how to get a clean and clear single coil sound in a hum-free, noise-free humbucking design. Based on the demos I've watched so far, the guitar looked like a Stratocaster, right? The pickup is designed to sound like a single coil, but my first impression was I don't think it is a Strat replacement. After reading some articles, PRS also said the same thing. They also try to market this guitar as its own thing. They said that it's not a Strat replacement, and I totally agree with that. It has different sound. I would say it does sound like a single coil, but a different kind of single coil sound. With the demos, of course, people use it with different effects, different amps. For now, I can say that there are elements of the sound that I like, and there are also things that I don't really like. Let's start with the annoying stuff first. It can be just me, it can be just my taste, maybe just my ears. That's also the case with guitar tone in general. It can be very subjective, right? If you listen to the demos and you think that none of the thing I mentioned here is bothering you, that is also completely valid. There are two specific things that concerns me. The first one is the character of the high mids, somewhere around 2K frequency. I think it's just a little bit too much. If I use this NF3, I'm gonna need to make sure that I set my effects and amps to not have too much of that frequency area. This example is from PRS's official demo. When I listen to the sound here, I hear this somewhere around 2K that I don't like. Then I try to EQ it into something I like a little better. This is the EQ that I add. I have a cut around 1.7 and 2.4 kilohertz. Then I add 1.5 dB volume compensation. This is how it sounds before and after. Depends on your taste and the song you're working on, or the situation in your live performance maybe. How much of this brightness you want can totally be different, right? With different case. I think by demonstrating what an EQ can do to deal with this, I can give you some idea. I can give myself some idea that, oh, okay, this thing that I don't like in this sound, it's manageable. It's not a problem. I can fix it using effects. With this kind of thing, sometimes you can fix it using effects. Sometimes you cannot. Sometimes you just need to go for a different guitar. With today's guitar effects technology, it's also very flexible where you want to put the EQ. So you can try to fix the raw sound, you put the EQ before it hits distortion and amp, or you can put the EQ after, just like what I did here. If there are another element of the sound that you don't like, you can also experiment using EQ or compression and try to fix it for you. Using this sound demo definitely helped for me in this case. The second problem that I noticed is a little bit inconsistent with different demos. There are some demos where I hear this problem, but there are other where I think it sounds fine. We also need to consider that there is a chance that in some demos they use gears, amps that might hide this annoying thing that I don't like, and with other demos they might use gears that show and maybe even emphasize this problem. Okay, so what I hear in some of the demos that I think quite annoying is I think there are certain harmonics or overtones that make the guitar sound kind of a little bit out of tune. Sometimes. There are several suspects that might cause this kind of problem in a guitar in general. Yeah, it can happen with other guitars too, not just this NF3. I don't think I can know for sure what it is without going super in depth though. The most harmless possibility is if in some of the demos, the guitar are just not set up properly. Maybe it was straight from the box, they tuned it quickly without checking the intonation. Maybe some of the guitar from the factory were just not set up super precisely. Another thing is maybe the springs in the back, maybe it was set up properly enough, but with a floating bridge set up, right? Maybe there's not enough tension with the springs in the back, so when we hit it too hard, it goes out of tune just a little bit. Also, maybe the hand is accidentally pressing the bridge very slightly, and yeah, that can also make the guitar go a little bit out of tune. It's also connected to the strings. I think they're using 9s out of the box. The type of the strings can also have some effects dealing with the tension of the springs, right? Maybe with the strings that it comes with, it's just more prone to getting negative impact from the way we play. So yeah, if that is the problem, that's an easy fix. We can just change the strings, have it set up properly, maybe play a little bit more carefully so we don't press the bridge, and it should be better. The second possibility is a little bit worrying because it's more permanent. We can mitigate, we can probably minimize the negative impact using effects and choosing amps and caps that can help with dealing with this problem. But if it's there, it's just gonna be there. That is, if the annoying sound is just something that comes from the wood and maybe the parts. We'll talk about the parts too later, but now I'll talk about the wood first. There is chance that in this first line of production, maybe they use certain batch of wood that might cause this problem. If there is enough inconsistency, there will be some NF3s that have this problem, and there will be some that don't have it. If most NF3s have these characteristics, well, I guess it's something that we should just accept it the way it is. There will be people who will not find this annoying at all. Again, maybe it's just me, maybe it's just my ears, maybe just my taste, right? There'll be some that will deal with it using effects and changing the parts maybe to minimize this problem. And there'll be some people that would just dislike it and yeah, they would just choose another guitar. But again, not all of the demos so far have this annoying thing. Some of them I think are fine. Yeah, if it turns out that most of them are fine, that is a good news. Then I might actually get one. And then another possibility is the pickup. Maybe the pickup is just picking too much of a certain frequency area, and when there is some unwanted frequency, it's just brought up too much and then start messing with the fundamental frequency, starts messing with the correct harmonics, the beautiful harmonics. If it was the pickup, PRS definitely need to use that TCI tuning method that they have. I don't think they use it in this pickup. I don't know though. I haven't seen any mention of that so far. They need to try to fix this narrowfield pickup. Maybe move the frequency response a little bit to make sure that it's not emphasizing unwanted frequencies. For us now, if it's actually the pickup, it is actually also something fixable. We can just change the pickup with something else. Yeah, that was two things that I think is annoying. Other than that, I think it's good. It's a thick single coil sounding humbucker. I don't think it can do a super sparkly with a lot of 5K frequency like a Stratocaster, a traditional Stratocaster, but it can do thick, high mid-rich type of single coil sound. It can do a fat, punchy single coil sound. I feel like the lows are a little bit tighter. The punch feels a little bit faster. Maybe also because it's basically a higher output pickup compared to low output single coil that a lot of people use. It's gonna be different from Strat. It's gonna be a little bit nicer for distortion. Maybe the frequency content is different, but the punch can feel like a Telecaster, I think. It can do that aggressive, ka, ka, just like a Telecaster. With a Strat, it's probably more like ka, ka, like a more straightforward type of sound, I think. The sound also reminds me of my old PRS SE Navarro Custom 24. That guitar has humbucker with coil split feature, right? And you know what? Back when I used that guitar a lot, I almost always use it in coil split mode. I feel that this NF3 sounds kind of like that single coil mode in my old SE Custom 24. If I listen to the attack, the sustain, the frequency content, the dynamics, yeah, it doesn't remind me of a Stratocaster, but it reminds me of my SE Custom 24 with coil split on. The worst case scenario of how I would describe the pickup sound is, even if we think that it's not as single coily as we like, it's still a good, balanced, clear, and punchy sounding humbucker. Okay, that was my opinion so far on PRS SE NF3. Tell me what do you think about this guitar? Write it in the comments, like, subscribe, and see you in the next video.